Patrice Evra, it's great to see you sitting there. Where are you in the world right now? Are you allowed to share?
So yeah, I am in Denmark. I am in Copenhagen right now. I was in Germany a few days ago. I was in Dubai, where we live. I was in London, and now finally I am in Copenhagen.
And rocking a retro jersey. And I need to see the, please turn around. I need to see who's on the back. I need to see the name.
Of course. It's King Eric.
King Eric, not only a legend of Manchester United, a legend of the game, an icon of the Premier League. And we'd love to see how the collar is up as well. So maybe I should match you.
You know, I used to play with my collar ups every time because of Eric Cantona. And I remember when I was in national team, my manager, Didier Deschamps, he didn't like it. But I was like, come on, he looked cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, of course. How big is he in France, by the way, Cantona? I know that he wasn't part of the World Cup team or anything, but he's still Eric Cantona.
He's still Eric Cantona. I think like sometime in France, you know, they don't like people with a lot of confidence and sometimes even can be arrogant. And I had a little bit that issue at the beginning of my career, you know, when they don't know you and, you know, when you are like confident, when you are a winner in France, they have a misinterpretation and they think you're arrogant. And in England, they love that. They love people with character and personality. That's why I remember when I spoke with Eric, he said, Patrice, you know, if I was English, they will build a statue for me. And instead in France, they're not quite happy.
Yeah, true. I mean, he's loved here. He just came and did some work in Malaysia. He's come here quite frequently. But let's look ahead. Let's look ahead at the season, Patrice, because I'm so excited. Arsenal, they look so strong. They've strengthened. They've got Gabriel Jesus, who's probably got a point to prove. Spurs, Antonio Conte. We know what he brings and the signings that they've made. I just spoke to Ivan Perisic last night, and he's excited. City, Erling Haaland, one of the most exciting prospects in world football. Calvin Phillips, we know what he can bring. And they've got back-to-back titles. United, Ten Hag, the signings that have come in, maybe even more in the future. And you look outside the Big Six, Patrice, and say Nottingham Forest. They've spent an extraordinary amount of cash. And I'm thinking it's not just about the Big Six, but the competition across the Premier League will be the highest it's ever been. Do you think so?
I don't know when you say the highest it's ever been, because I remember in our time, you could like play a team against Blackburn or Bolton or Stoke away. It will be really challenging. So let's see. But to be fair, this is of the past few years, it looked like the most exciting and competitive it will be like during the transfer window. And also we see the team in the preseason. I think Arsenal looks solid. And like you say, they add Gabriel Jesus, like finally a striker, like even if he won't score many goals when he was playing for City, but he will create chance. And now I think he will be the number one. He will feel the love. And what a player. I love a player. City, of course, you know, and they both like Alan, finally a striker since Sergio Aguero left. I think that's what missing for City. Liverpool will still here. Chelsea look like the most fragile, but you know, we never know with Chelsea. Sometimes they win when we didn't expect them. You remember when they won that Champions League, no one expects Chelsea. So we always have to respect Chelsea. Manchester, I think United with Ten Hag, we got hope. Finally, I see like player, they know exactly what they're going to do. They have a plan. But this is, don't get me wrong, it's the preseason. I'm someone I like to stay positive, but it doesn't matter if you have a good preseason, you're going to have a good league, because when the league starts, it's a different kind of pressure. So I'm really excited like you are. I think it's going to be an amazing league, and especially also the World Cup. So player will have to show to their international manager, you know, they have to be picked. So it's so exciting.
It's interesting you should say like the preseason results. I just saw Rio, your ex-teammate, saying the same thing, and he believes more in the words that are coming out of Old Trafford, either from people that he knows, and it all seems positive at Manchester United. The results have been good, yes, granted, but it's the mood within Carrington that matters more heading into the new season.
Adam, look, it's one thing surprised me, and one thing I am happy to hear. It's a long time I didn't hear in any interview of any player saying, we know what we are doing. You know, it's really simple for you. You're going to say like, but yeah, but since when you didn't hear one United player saying like, we have a plan, we know what we are doing. So that's why I'm really positive about it. But when I see the other team, the player they bring on, I'm like, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough to be on the top four, but we're going to the right direction with Ten Hag. Especially, you see the way he's talking to the player and the people. Now we solve also the Cristiano Ronaldo saga. So we are in a good position. But like I said, Adam, I've been like disappointed like so much. Then I wait. After 10 games, that's what I always say to people when they say, who's going to win the league? I say, after 10 games, I can tell you who's going to fight for the league, who's going to be on the top four.
Who do you actually put as favorites? So I know I shouldn't be asking you this based on what you just said, but if you had to say before a ball is even kicked, this team is the favorite, who would it be?
No, but let's be clear. City and Liverpool are the favorite. City are dominating, and it really hurt me to saying that, but they are dominating the league. Now they bought Haaland. They bought finally a striker. I think I was a little bit criticized Guardiola in the final when they lost against Chelsea because he didn't want to play with a striker. So now I think if Haaland stay fit, you know, he won't have any excuse. And Liverpool looks strong. You see the way they beat Chelsea at the Community Shield. So those two teams are definitely have a ticket for the Champions League or winning the league. And after that's the big question. Who's going to be the next, like the last two teams to go in a Champions League? You got Tottenham, because don't forget Conte. And I remember last year, I said to everyone, Tottenham going to finish on the top four. People were saying, no, it's Arsenal. And I was saying that when it was like 10 games remaining, because for me, Conte is one of the best coach in the world. And you know, when you have those last 3 games, when you have to handle the pressure, when you have someone with Conte, you know, he won't give up and he will give you the confidence to do it. So you have Tottenham, you have Manchester United, you have Arsenal, you have like Newcastle will come, you will have West Ham, you know, Leicester City. All those teams can create a surprise. So you have Chelsea, I forget Chelsea. So you see, it's so many teams, like 6 teams at least for the last 2 spots. It's going to be tough. I don't know who's going to make it on the top 4.
It really feels like it's a question of character more than anything else, because all these teams have fantastic squads. There was Ilkay Gundogan. He was doing the media rounds last week, and I found something really interesting. He was asked if Haaland had played in the Champions League when City exited last year, would it have made a difference? And he said no. He said, we didn't manage the game. That last 10 minutes or whatever it was, 12, 13, when they conceded the goals, that was the issue, the mentality and the character.
But of course, but Adam, you know, after that game, I had a little like back and forth talking with Guardiola. I think he didn't understand it. And me, I was like pondering the game. And before the game, I was saying like Guardiola, you know, eating his, and I say to everyone, I say, City are scared. He feel it because the first leg, you remember when they missed like some big opportunity and Guardiola went mad because he knew in Champions League, when you miss those big opportunity in the first leg, second leg gonna be like really dangerous. And I was in Madrid and I promise you, the last 5 minutes, I was watching the game. I said to Clarence Seedorf, City is going to lose. He said, no, you could feel the energy. You could feel. That's why I say it's about mentally. You have to be ready. I will give you another example. You know, when we win the league, even sometime like 3 games before the end of the season, you know, the last game you have to win, the league I'm talking, is so important. You need personality and character. I remember when Ryan Giggs scored that goal against Wigan and he started running with his shirt and people didn't understand, but we knew in that moment we win the league. So that's why, like you say, Adam, it's all about here. And if you don't have this, it's going to be tough.
Yeah. I've been watching Arsenal fans discussing how they performed last year, because if we go back 1 year ago, if you said to an Arsenal fan, you'll be competing for the top 4 right up to the final few weeks, they wouldn't believe you. But that's what happened. And I'm just wondering, do Arsenal consider last year a successful season or not, considering they almost got Champions League? They almost exceeded expectations. So I want to know from you, Manchester United is an even bigger global club in terms of followership and viewership and every other statistical bit of data. What is a realistic target for the Red Devils this coming season? Because on the one hand, you have the most successful Premier League team of all time versus where they actually are right now with a new manager, new signings, and players lost, big players.
I think we need to be honest with ourselves. We should stop living in the past. We should never forget the past, but stop living in the past. So now, as a United legend, he upset me to say United target will be to finish in the top 4. And this is the truth. This is the present. If they finish in the top 4, it's already a massive success, especially with all many years we struggle. But of course, as a United fan, as a United ex-player, I don't understand that. For me, I will be no. Is to win the league and to win the Champions League. That's what's the target every time. And the problem is all those fans, they still think the same way as I'm thinking. But sometimes you have to come back to the reality. The present is the target will be to finish in the top 4. And if you can have a silverware like the FA Cup or the Carling Cup, whatever, you have to take it. But the top 4 is the priority because we need to back in the Champions League. Also, if you win, you want to attract many players. Look at the Ronaldo saga. He wanted to leave the only reason because of the Champions League, and nothing else. So that's why this is the target, and this will be a successful season. That's why when people say, oh, Arsenal didn't know. Arsenal have a great season last year. But personally, I knew they won't finish in the top 4. Not because I'm a United fan, because I know they are lack of character. And that's why you can't say they didn't have a great season. Arteta just came in 2 years, what is already achieved. Now this year, if they don't finish in the top 4, people will say, then they didn't have a successful season because we're waiting for them to make sure they are in the top 4 this year.
Yeah, it's fascinating to see because last summer they also spent the most in the transfer window and they spent quite a lot this year as well. So you probably say the pressure is on Mikel Arteta. Patrice, you're so experienced in the Premier League. I want to know what's made it the most popular, the richest, the most exciting league in the entire world for you? What makes it so good? Because you've also played in other countries, obviously in Italy and France and all of that.
But I like what you just said, Adam. You didn't say like, what is the best league? You say, what is making the most exciting league? And that's really important. That's why people always, they want to compare and saying, but Patrice, you play in France, you play in Italy. Everywhere is different. Like in France, for example, it's like, they like running. It's a marathon. And it's also physically. In Italy, it's like a chess game. It's all about tactic. And trust me, Adam, if you're not in that position, you're gonna concede a goal. So it's a chess game. In Premier League, what is the most exciting? It's like two boxers. I give you, you give me, I give, and the first is down and you're winning the game. And what makes that league most exciting, let's not forget, is all also those foreign players coming from Italy, coming from France, coming from Africa. And that's make it like just exciting. And also the fun, the atmosphere is electric. But like I said, the players are really explosive in the Premier League. But it doesn't mean a player from the Premier League will go in Italy, will struggle. That's why I always have this banter with Rio. I say, Rio, trust me, you're not clever enough to play in Italy. Like I was, because he was like, come on, Patrice, you win the league in Italy. It's so easy. Trust me, it's not. You see the way Ashley Cole like struggled when he was in AS Roma, Nemanja Vidic when he went to Inter. So you need to really like adapt yourself in every league. That's what this was one of my gifts. It's like I was able to adapt to any league. So that's why I think the Premier League is the most exciting league, is because people just like give 100%. Is no rest. It's not like strategy. But even if now many Italian coaches are taking the team and they start to play more tactically because they can see they can concede goal. If you just attack in one point, you need to have a strategy. You need to have a plan. So I just feel like now the league, like players are more patient with the ball. It's more like, possession of the ball. Before with United, Van der Sar will pass me the ball. I pass it to Scholesy to Ronaldo, cross, goal. Like in 4 passes, you're going to be in front of the goal. Now people like to play like Manchester City, like Barcelona. So that's a little bit kind of different league.
Yeah. I love the fact you said also is because of the players who come in, the foreign players. And it feels like I've come full circle because one of the earliest, in fact, I would say the first early superstar in the Premier League who was from another country would be Eric Cantona, which is the name on the back of your jersey right now. Let's not forget, he was at Leeds before that as well. Final question here. I view you as a prototype almost, Patrice, because You were fantastic defensively, but you were also brilliant going forward. So the opposite of Gary Neville. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm not knocking Gary Neville. I'm not knocking him.
Gary.
I've spoken to him before. I don't want him to see my face again. I want to know, how much do you think your value would be worth if you were, say, 21, 22 years old in the year 2022? Because if Chilwell can go for so much for Chelsea and all of that, I reckon you're at least 60 million.
I would be really, really expensive, but I don't want to give like any value, but sometimes you see some player and they value like 90 million or stuff like that. Like imagine player like myself or even like Ronaldo, El Fenómeno Ronaldinho. So it's a different game. But like you say, I think I want to focus on the quality of the player. And I always say left back is such a tough position, because if you attack too much, people will say you don't defend. If you defend, they will say you don't attack enough. So me, what I was able, because I start as a striker, then I wanted just to attack. And I remember my coach, he was in Italy, Sandro Salvioni, he said, Patrice, you need to defend. And I always say, and I even say it to Sir Alex Ferguson, the best way to defend is to attack. So that was my mentality. But yeah, you need to find the right balance. But today, in 2022, I will be too much money. I can't even say the name, the number.
A lot of money. And, it's funny, I used that position. I was talking to Perisic yesterday, I think I mentioned, and I said, Ivan, I think you're the fittest person in Spurs, because the demands of a wing back now are more than a midfielder. So were you one of, if not the fittest person at United?
But Adam, I absolutely agree. I get to a point where I was playing like 60 games per year plus the one, in the national team. So I even play more than the goalkeeper. I was lucky to don't get any injury. But like you say, Perisic, he will be so fit. And I love this player. And I remember me, when I joined Juventus, I play as a left winger, and the fullback. And he was like more the man than the left back. But I think, I remember Ferguson was like, some game, Patrice, you need to rest. I said, boss, I will rest when I die. When I die, I will have a lot of time to rest, but I don't want to rest. But of course, Adam, you have to be fit, you have to be healthy. And that's what I was. And that's what I still am.
Yeah. Okay. Understood. I got to ask the money question though. Who do we worth more? You or Rio? Okay. You don't give a number, but you or Rio Ferdinand, because when he was transferred, it was for a lot of money. Twice when he went to Leeds. So yes. Who would be worth more? You or Rio?
But depend, because now I think fullback are really rare and center back also are really expensive.
It's you. Come on. Pat, let's be honest. I mean, your fitness.
I'm really humble. I like to stay humble. But yeah, you know what? It will be me.
We heard it. You heard it. Now to @Rio on Twitter. No, I'm kidding. I wouldn't do that. Awesome. Patrice, I have really enjoyed this conversation. Thank you so much for giving up your time on your holiday to talk to us. Do you have a message for the Malaysian fans out there?
Yes. Thank you for following us so much. And I know it's a different time. And I really wish we're going to be able one day to play one of the Premier League game in Malaysia, because the fans are just unbelievable. Every time I've been in a tour with Man United, it was amazing. And actually, I've been invited to Malaysia by a friend. So soon, I hope I will have the time to come to see all my Malaysian fans. And thank you for the support. Even if you are so much far away, we still feel you and we love you.